Navigating through the whirlwind of constant noise and the hustle of daily life, a fascinating and undervalued concept emerges: the power of silence. But no, we're not talking about a peaceful retreat in the countryside or the relief of quiet after a long, hectic day. We're diving into a much deeper and philosophical territory, contemplating silence as a powerful tool for the serenity we all seek in this tumultuous world. Better yet, we're exploring silence from a Stoic perspective, drawing on the wisdom of ancient philosophers. How? By using silence to ignore, not arrogantly or disrespectfully, but as a means to protect your inner peace. Imagine for a moment having total control over your emotions, no matter what happens around you. Imagine feeling serenity take over your mind, even when the world around you feels chaotic. This is the power of silence, and it's exactly what you'll discover in this video. By mastering the art of silence, you can steer clear of toxic interactions without being consumed by negativity. What's the main promise of this video? Simple. Throughout this exploration, you'll learn how silence can become your most effective weapon for inner peace and emotional control. We're not just talking theories here. We'll share practical tips, proven strategies, and effective methods to make meaningful changes in your life. And considering the stress and demands of modern life, we could all use a little more of this, couldn't we? But wait. We're not ready to go silent just yet. There's so much more to explore and discover. So get ready to learn how silence can become your strategic escape from chaos and the ladder to a calmer, more peaceful life. As we often say here, in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. Today, you'll take a significant step towards a more tranquil life. Are you ready to navigate these waters with me? Let's move forward. Connecting with you through this channel, we've noticed that most of our community consists of young adults aged 18 to 35. You're vibrant individuals, full of energy and potential, but many of you often face challenging situations. We've observed that, more often than not, you're confronted with toxic situations in friendships and relationships. Unfortunately, this isn't uncommon for this age group. The awakening of youth and the journey of finding one's place in the world is often filled with experiences that can be emotionally draining. Everyday relationships, whether with friends, family, or partners, become complex. Unwanted discord arises, personality clashes become evident, and handling people who don't respect personal boundaries becomes a struggle. These daily obstacles begin to feel immense and insurmountable. That's where an unexpected solution presents itself: silence. And that's precisely what we'll be discussing in the next segment of this video: how strategic silence can be an effective tool in your daily life, serving as a mechanism for emotional defense. So to the young adults in our community, this video is dedicated to you. Together, let's explore how silence can be used to preserve your inner peace, providing greater emotional control and serenity. We'll discuss how deliberately ignoring certain situations and people can actually be the key to personal growth and a calmer, more balanced life. Remember, in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. In silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. With this foundation set, let's move on to the next topic. How many times have you found yourself caught in an unnecessary conflict that only drained your mental and emotional energy? Amid chaos, stress, and tension, have you ever wished for a moment of silence and tranquility to recharge? Here, I want to introduce you to a problem many of us face, but few know how to handle: the power of strategic silence. While it might be easier to point fingers at others and place blame on them, the truth is that often we are the architects of our own unrest. In the age of hyperconnectivity, we have a tendency to react to every stimulus, every comment, and every injustice, no matter how minor. However, we fail to see just how exhausting this can be. Imagine the tranquility and inner peace we could achieve if we learned to choose our battles more carefully. Imagine recognizing that some situations, while annoying, don't deserve our time or energy. This is where the potency of strategic silence lies, a tool we can use to protect our inner peace and avoid unnecessary conflicts. But how can we achieve this? After all, it's easy to talk about the importance of silence, but how do we put it into practice effectively? It's a complex question that requires careful examination. This brings us to our next chapter, where we'll delve deeper into the concept of strategic silence. We'll explore scientific research, well-established theories, and real-life stories that illustrate the immense value of this powerful tool. Understanding strategic silence in its entirety will help us grasp why it's important and how to use it to our advantage. Finally, remember the wisdom contained in our channel's motto. In silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. As we silence ourselves, we give ourselves an opportunity to reflect, evaluate, and learn from our experiences. In this silence, we grow in wisdom and equip ourselves with the tools to better handle life's challenges. In the pursuit of inner peace, emotional control, and serenity, a powerful yet often underestimated tool is silence. Silence is more than the absence of sound. It's an attitude, a way of being, and a means of facing the world. And believe me, it's a strategic tool. To grasp the depth of silence's benefits, we first need to examine the science behind it. Researchers have concluded that silent pauses can mean far more than words in a conversation. Silence has the power to emphasize, convey intensity, express acceptance, and even create intimacy. Moreover, silence, or rather calming solitude, brings benefits to our mental and physical health, boosting productivity and creativity while reducing stress and anxiety. But the importance of silence goes beyond science. We also see its remarkable presence in real-life stories and Stoic philosophy. Stoicism, a philosophy focused on mastering the mind and letting go of external concerns, teaches us that silence is a powerful ally. Great Stoic thinkers used silence as a tool to develop self-discipline, clarity of thought, and a deeper understanding of human existence. There are countless stories of great leaders, thinkers, and writers who used silence as their secret weapon. Isaac Newton, for example, is famously known to have accomplished some of his greatest works during periods of silence and isolation. The question is, how do we use silence to our advantage? Based on what we've discussed, we can understand that silence is a powerful response. When facing conflict, we often respond impulsively, contributing to escalating tensions. But by choosing silence, we allow ourselves space to breathe, think, and evaluate the situation. Silence gives us the power of control and choice. In summary, silence is not empty or absent. It is full and present. And when used well, it becomes a path to self-development and serenity. In the next segment, we'll dive deeper into how to practice the art of strategic silence in our daily lives. In line with our channel's motto, remember, in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. As we've journeyed through this exploration of strategic silence as a valuable tool, we've touched on several significant points. Now it's time to put theory into practice. We've navigated through Stoic philosophy, and now I'll share with you practical advice on how to apply silence effectively in conflict situations. To incorporate silence into conflict situations, the first step is awareness. Being aware of the power of words, as well as their absence, is crucial. When facing a conflict, take a moment to evaluate the situation. Practicing silence enhances your ability to focus, allowing you to assess the emotional dynamics of the encounter. Next, practice active listening. We often underestimate the strength of silence in genuinely listening. Silence allows the other person to fully express themselves while you gain perspective and time to craft an appropriate response. Another valuable strategy is the use of silence as a strategic pause. Before reacting impulsively, pause and take a deep breath. Let the emotional pressure subside, then respond with more clarity and assertiveness. This interruption in the flow of conversation allows you to shift from an impulsive reaction to a measured response. It's important to emphasize that using silence as a strategy doesn't mean avoiding dialogue. It's about learning to pause, reflect, and create space for thoughtful consideration before speaking. Always remember that while in silence, you take control of your words, emotions, and ultimately your life. Finally, but no less importantly, is the practice of withdrawing silently when conflict cannot be resolved healthily. Sometimes, silence can be a powerful declaration of self-preservation and self-defense. Now that you have the strategies, the task is to start applying them in your daily life. Like any new habit, it takes time and practice, but the benefits are immeasurable. Always remember, in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. Let's remain steadfast in our journey toward emotional control and serenity through strategic silence. In the next chapter, we'll briefly yet effectively recap all the main points covered in this video to reinforce your knowledge. We've reached the end of our journey through this video, where we've explored in detail the power of silence from a Stoic perspective and how ignoring people can lead to inner peace. We've analyzed how to apply this powerful tool when confronted with toxic situations in friendships and relationships. Together, we've understood how strategic silence can protect our inner peace and help us avoid unnecessary conflicts that drain our emotional and mental energy. We've discussed how to use silence not as a sign of weakness, but as a strategic way to communicate. We've studied why silence is important, how it can benefit us, and how to apply it strategically in conflict situations. Finally, we've presented practical exercises, tips, and clear strategies for you to harness the power of silence based on Stoic philosophy. And now, I leave you with this quote to reflect on. Amidst the noise and haste, do not forget the peace that can be found in silence. May this thought inspire concrete actions in your daily life, and may you find the benefits of silence and discover your own inner peace. And in alignment with our channel's motto, remember, in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. We part ways here, but with the promise of meeting again in our next journey. Until then, now it's up to you. Yes, I'm talking to you, who's listening to me and believes you can change your life and your surroundings by using the strategies we've discussed here. The power of silence is in your hands, and it's a very powerful tool when used strategically. Remember, controlling our reactions and emotions is the first step toward a calmer and fuller life. Don't let this conversation end here. Whether on our social networks, here in the comments, or anywhere else, share what you've learned. Discuss it with your friends, stimulate healthy discussions. We want to know what you think and hear about your experiences. Do you agree that silence can be a powerful response? Have you ever practiced strategic silence in difficult situations? What was it like for you? Being part of this community means interacting and participating actively. We want you to be more than just a spectator. Be a player on this stage. After all, every person who listens and engages with us is essential for us to grow together. So, ask questions, answer, comment, like, and share. Be heard, be seen, and most importantly, be part of this community. Finally, I remind you of the words that guide our channel. In silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. We use silence to learn and wisdom to grow. This is a journey we're embarking on together.